Hi there, welcome to video number 10. Hopefully this is the last video. It's going to be the test flight. I've programmed up all of the avionics and the cockpit and the yoke and the throttle quadrant, all those different templates, and I've loaded them all into this 152, and I've actually saved that as a template. So I've got a one combined template, so it's much easier to transfer it from livery to livery. I did the development on livery 01, and I've now transferred that to the main default livery, so we'll see how that goes. I made a few minor changes on the trim. Had a quick flight and checked out that the trim, the fast trim, was too aggressive, so I've turned this down to 200 milliseconds and turned this down so it only does 4 repeats for each click on the trim. So hopefully that makes the trim less sensitive. So we'll see what happens there with that. So if we get into the cockpit to start with, and it says we're ready to fly, and this is the flight plan for today. Well, the flight intentions rather than a plan, to be honest. I'm going to fly along the south coast from Shoreham to Goodwood, which is about 20 miles or so. It's a very short flight, and it says I should be flying on a magnetic heading of 274 degrees. The navlog has calculated it with the wind drift at 269 degrees. I think even that's quite ambitious. It's very windy out there today, but we'll see how that goes. And we're going to try and find this Goodwood aerodrome using these two VORs, Midhurst and Southampton. I've chosen those two. They're very local, but also that they cross at about 90 degrees, so it should give us a good fix on that aerodrome. I'm going to be using a head tracker today, so if you see my head turning way to the right, it's because I've got a second monitor with all the details up. So let's get in and get ready to fly. So let's make sure that all my controls on my yoke are switched off, everything's sort of neutralised, and we are ready to go. What I will do while we're flying is I will have a couple of things in the top right hand corner. In fact, in the top right hand corner I've got a view of my X-Touch and some of the yokes. You can see what's happening here, and on the left hand side I've got a kind of a window on the short on a view of my Stream Deck software, so you can see what's going on there. There won't be much going on because I don't really use it now. All these buttons that are on there are actually on the yoke, so I don't need to use Stream Deck very much for this fairly simple aircraft. Okay, so I won't do too much talking. Hopefully I'm just going to get things set up. So let's turn the head tracker on so you can see where I'm looking. Okay, so a couple of things to tune in. Let's get the alternator working. Let's get that light to go off. A couple of things to tune in here. The ADF is 332 for Shoreham. So let's flip over to Bank B and let's put in 332 here. And we'll change the ADF card here. You can see it's already picked up the ADF, but if we change that card now, because it said we're going to go out on about 269 or somewhere around there, so it's approximately that heading that we're going to be going out on. And now if we program up the VORs, so back on bank A for the VOR, and the first one was Midhurst, which is on 114.00. And we'll make that active, and that's really picked up, and we'll be going out looking for of the radial of 203. And let's have a go for VOR2 now, so we'll swap that over to VOR2, nav radio 2, and Southampton is on 113.35. We're out of range, just about out of range ground level for Southampton, so we won't pick that up, but we can put in the OBS for 2, which is 104 degrees. Okay, so we're prepared for that. So we'll be looking to catch where these two radials cross each other. I'm going to switch the transponder on already. So that's ready at 7,000. Okay, so I can use my Stream Deck now, and we're going to get the ATIS, so I'm going to tune the radio into 130.980.
Information Sierra 1400 Zulu. Wind 240 at 16. Visibility 6. Sky condition, ceiling 1,600 feet broken. Temperature 1 tree. 2.10. Altimeter 29.74. Visual runway 20 and visual runway 20 left in use. Landing and departing runway 20 and runway 20 left. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Sierra. Shoreham Airport Information Sierra 1400 Zulu. Wind 240 at 16. Visibility 6. Sky condition, ceiling 1,600 feet broken. Temperature 1.
So I'm actually going to fly with the real weather today. It's a pretty windy day down here in the south of England. I can't run with live players though, because there's somebody been sitting for the last half an hour at the end of the runway in an Airbus. No idea what they're doing. Nothing seems to be happening. It's just sitting there. So I had to turn that off. An Airbus at Shoreham. It's quite a small aerodrome. I think they're being very ambitious, to be honest. Anyway, let's get permission to do a taxi.
Shoreham ground Cessna Golf Bravo Mike with Sierra request taxi to the active west departure.
Cessna Golf Bravo Mike taxi to and hold short of runway 20. Contact tower on 123.155 when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 20 Cessna Mike.
if you look at the windsock, you can see what we're contending with, and to be honest with you, even taxiing is quite hard. Quite the crosswind here.
Shoreham Tower, Cessna Golf, Bravo, Mike, at runway 20 ready for departure, west departure.
Cessna Golf Bravo Mike, wind 240 at 16. West departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 20.
Cleared for takeoff runway 20 Cessna, Mike.
Mike, continue for west departure.
Shoreham Tower, Cessna Golf, Bravo, Mike, continue for west departure.
Just retrimming so we get a steady climb. We'll get to 1,000 feet and then we'll turn around to the left, go back across over the aerodrome, so that we know we're going from the centre of the aerodromes. Okay, that's 1,000 feet. We'll continue climbing as we turn. I want to really fly at about 2,000 feet today. So I'm keeping an eye on the ADF needle, and we're going to turn in and follow that across the centre of the aerodrome. So 2,000 feet, so we can start to level off and come back on the throttle a bit. And watching when to turn in the ADF. We could be coming sort of adjacent to it now. So we'll start the turn in. Aerodrome down there, so we're going to cross the centre of that. And I'm trimming down now. And back on the throttle a bit. And I'm going to lean the engine a little bit now. So there is no exhaust gas temperature gauge on this. It's just about watching the efficiency of the engine, the fuel flow. But even now there's no fuel flow. It's about using your ears really to hear the engine. I'm flying out at about 295 degrees. That's about the right heading, and we should see the ADF swing round soon. And I need to lose a little bit more height, so let's come back on the throttle a little bit. And I'm going to take the landing light and taxi lights off now. So I'm going to try and catch this sort of radial here from the ADF, so I'm heading away from it directly, but on a heading of about 270, about 269, somewhere around there. So that's over this way a little bit. Because it always shows it's behind you, whichever direction you fly away from it to start with. So that's the idea of turning this card so I know the heading I'm actually flying away on. I just need a tiny bit more throttle here. Trimming this now for level flight at just under 100 knots, indicated airspeed, so that's fine. Okay, so I'm sort of following the right heading out, and what we're looking for is for these two indicators here, the VOR indicators, to cross here at this point, and that will be when we're above Goodwood. Now I can cheat slightly and go back to my cockpit now and have a look at my exhaust gas temperature. I have put a gauge on there, and it's saying 833 degrees, and let's lean back a bit. And that's too low, it's going down, so let's go up again. I was slightly on the lean side. Doing it by ear. Not far off though, not far off. Just slightly rich of the maximum temperature, so we'll leave that there. Which means I've got a bit more power going in, so I'm getting a bit of a climb. So I'm going to reduce the throttle a bit now. And bring it back down to 2000. But the VOR is going to be the most accurate measure as I get closer. We're flying pretty much straight towards the Southampton one at the moment. And this one is almost at right angles to us. So this one here is going to be quite quickly as we get level with the Goodwood aerodrome. And we've drifted a little bit, so let's drift to the right again. So I can see that the top VOR is beginning to unpin now. We still need to correct on this side a little bit here, so we need to fly a bit more this way. We should be able to see it pretty soon. Okay, so if we fly down the Midhurst radial now, I believe we've got Goodwood coming up ahead of us now. Over there. And you can probably see the racing circuit going around the edge of it. I'm going to use the ADF to return us along the coast back to shore. So the idea is we fly along the coastline until this ADF indicates that we're parallel with shore. The needle is beginning to swing to the left now, so it's telling me to sort of point. Right, head that way, and that looks like Shoreham to me. There it is. So I can cancel the flight following now.
Shoreham approach Cessna. Mike, cancel flight following.
Cessna Mike, Shoreham approach cancellation received. Squawk 7000. Frequency change approved.
Okay, so now I can tune into Shoreham.
Shoreham Tower Cessna Golf Bravo Mike is 2 miles south, 2,000 feet with Sierra to land.
Cessna Golf Bravo Mike Shoreham Tower. Altimeter 29.74 wind 260 at 16. Make left downwind runway 20.
Enter left downwind runway 20 Cessna Mike. ground Cessna Golf Bravo Mike taxi to parking.
Cessna Golf Bravo Mike taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway cross runway 6.
Taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway cross runway 6 Cessna Mike.